Well, just finished up my first bottle of argon, and so I thought I'd share my thoughts on the Primewelder after that first bottle. So here we go. So this is my little welding nook, and I've got it organized pretty much the way I like it now. I got my helmets up here, got my tungsten grinder here on a Dremel. Highly recommend a tungsten grinder. A little fan I can put ventilation on, my grinder, and of course the all-important, this guy, the Primeweld. And it's got a good sticker wife gave me, fantastic. And what's really cool about the Primeweld is that once I got it set up, once I got all these, so many knobs and buttons, once I got them all set up, the only thing I'm changing is the current, right? Which makes sense. Everything's set up pretty well. I've added in the trigger switch, which I'm starting to learn to use right here. It's a little bit different when you're coming from the foot pedal. I've actually switched back over to having my this ceramic cup instead of the see-through cup. I like both, but I've been using that one recently. So the other thing that I've learned is that you run a lot of tungsten rods, you're gonna dip them, no big deal. So before each session, I'll sharpen them up. I've got about 10 that'll sharpen. And so you do it on each end. That makes you got 20 if you don't dip it too badly, and you can flip it around. So that's pretty good. This is my little welding fortress I made for the Primeweld. I definitely made it with the Primeweld. You can see I am still getting better, but some of the welding leaves a bit to be desired. What I hadn't really appreciated is how hard it is to weld thin to thicker metals, and I'm getting better, but it's tough. So this is its little house, and it's working really well. I'm actually, there's been zero moisture in here, had no problems with it living in this little area. I'm gonna put it on wheels and put it where I can get a small bottle of argon on the side so I can do some work on my Rampage soon. And that was the plan all along. Let's have a mobile little house for the Primeweld that could contain it and make it easy to hook up. This is a project recently did with the family. So the kids hammered out these leaves that the wife and I cut out, and then I welded them with the Primeweld. And and make sure you always turn the gas on. I don't want to blowing holes. I forgot to turn the gas on, but oh well. Anyway, I've really enjoyed it. I have to say, like, it's been a lot of fun. I've learned a lot. And one of the things that I did learn was how much I actually like this guy. This cheapo $100 Harbor Freight, you know, wire feed MIG welder. I've definitely used this a lot more since I got the TIG. Sometimes when I just want to do a little bit of a touch up here and there, it's just much faster to get this guy out and run through it. So this is a great companion. I highly recommend having one of these guys to go with your TIG. He's cheap, he works well, and you know, again, if you're not doing major steel, not a problem. So the other thing I learned is check your gas bottle when you get it if you don't know the exchange policy, because this one was expired. See that 2 of 11 right there? Well, that's 2021. I bought it in March of 2021. So we're gonna find out today whether or not they are going to just let me exchange it, or if I'm gonna have to pay to get this recertified when I do the exchange. So anyhow, that's my first bottle roundup. The other thing I will say too is that you're going to want a lot of clamps. However many clamps you have, you always need one more. So yeah, stock up. So yeah, Primeweld, been fantastic. It has been absolutely flawless. This is not the way you're supposed to have it set up, okay? I want to be very clear about that. You're supposed to have a foot on each side because there are some vents here on the side. And I am planning to cut some holes in the side that'll open up, but it's been fine. And I'm not welding anything more than 70 amps. And so it's never had an issue, been running for several hours at a time. But the other thing too is I live in a relatively mild climate. I've never been running this when it's been 90 degrees out or hotter. So keep that in mind. But this is working well. It's never felt hot to the touch. But if you were running it at, you know, 200 amps, you absolutely don't want it in an enclosure like this. So keep that in mind. Or at least you want this enclosure to have the opening sides, which I am going to get to. But for now, this has just been working fantastically. And everything's held up well. Highly recommend you get a sheath. The leather ones are really nice as well. Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna weld. Oh yeah, don't forget to clean your surfaces. Acetone. Good stuff, kids. And have yourself a supply of grinding wheels and flap wheels and other goodies. You'll be, I don't know. It's a fun hobby. That's all I've got to say. So the one thing that people do get right is it is pretty loud, but in my setting, it's just really not a big deal. It's just background. So keep that in mind. But yeah, this is the only knob that I can turn. Everything else, once it's set up, it's doing good. It is nice. It goes pretty low. You can see those 12. So we're gonna try and work some more today. Just gonna finish this out. Last little bit of gas I have, blowing holes in thin metal. Here we go. A little bit higher. 53 amps. So stick the tip a couple times. Now we're gonna try this at 70. Just trying to do some tacks. Stuck the rod, that's good. Do a little more free flow. So, as you can see, this, not bad, not bad. This, not great. This, well, it was good until, I don't know, got to this spot where, but getting there. I'm at least learning a little bit every time. Hopefully by the end of the next tank, it'll be even better. But look, here's what matters. Right on there. So, hooray me, that is on there. So I'll end with this. The reason I really wanted to get a TIG instead of getting a really nice MIG or something was this. So I could weld little sheet metal together that is in odd configurations. And I'm actually starting to get the hang of that. And so what I've got here are two thin sheets of sheet metal. And I think I'm actually running at about 70 amps. And I'm getting them stuck together. And this is what's going to help me put together the floor pans in my Rampage. And so again, I'm really happy with the TIG, and this first bottle has been great training. And you can see, look, these jagged edges here, well, they're welded together, and it's not bad. Anyway, happy welding.